Happy Thursday, Mavericks fans. Harrison Graham here with another episode of Dallas Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. Producer Jeffrey Cooperstein is going to hang out with us here in a little bit after we get through this first story, so stick around for that. But let's get to the latest on Kyrie Irving. The Mavs continue to be optimistic, according to reports, that Kyrie will re-sign with Dallas. Here's Tim Cato of The Athletic saying that the Mavericks team sources say remain optimistic about their ability to re-sign Irving this summer after trading for him in February with the intention of a long-term partnership with Luka Dončić, and it is, league sources say, the expectation other teams have as well. I think that is kind of maybe a new piece of information here and something worth mentioning that, yes, the Mavs have been optimistic all along, but if there's reports out there that other teams, may not even try or just assume he's going to be back in Dallas. Like, that just continues to lead toward the idea that the Mavericks have the most to offer. They have the most money. They've got the bird rights and go an extra year on it. And listen, the Lakers are the one team that's always floating out there, but I don't think they make that much sense. Like, with Anthony Davis's reemergence, you're not going to move him. You want to bring back Austin Reeves if you're LA. I think Kyrie is going to re-sign with Dallas just because they could simply offer the most money at this point in time. And look, I've been critical of Kyrie in the past. I'm not a fan of the shenanigans he's made at this point. I will say this, signs pointed to re-signing Jalen Brunson, but this feels different to me. Unless Kyrie Irving has a family member that's going to join a coaching staff for another team in an area that he grew up in, then I'm not too threatened by that. Now, the Mavs don't deserve the benefit of the doubt in these type of situations. And while I have been critical of Kyrie, I think since he's been a Maverick, he's handled things properly, at least from what we know. And look, when you make that move, unless it goes Rajon Rondo disaster on you, you do everything you can to re-sign that player. That's just the reality. And look, if you re-sign Kyrie, you got to get 3-and-D guys. You got to get better at center. That's why we talked about Jaren Jackson the other day, which, that's obviously an incredible long shot. But, you got to get better defensively around him and Luka, because Luka Dončić and Kyrie Irving are never going to be an elite defensive duo. I've talked about this before. When Luka gives 100% effort on defense, I actually think he's adequate. But we know that's not going to be 100% of the time, as he's going to save a lot of his energy for offense. So got to get 3-and-D guys, and you got to get better up front. All right, what is your confidence level in re-signing Irving? I still am not going to go a 90+. I'll go 86. B plus. I feel pretty confident, but it's hard to give this team an A when it comes to free agency because you just don't know how it's going to go. So scale of 1 to 100, how confident are you that Kyrie will re-sign? All right, we'll bring in Coop in a second because MFFL Nation basically said that the Mavs are going to do some crazy stuff this offseason, and keep an eye out, which, look, we've heard this before, right? Big offseason coming up for the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, it's obviously true. They really need to make things work this offseason. Theo Pinson quote tweeting that with the shh, don't let it out emoji, hey, it's a secret, it's a secret. Does Theo Pinson actually know anything? I don't know. I mean, who the hell actually knows? I will say this, the Mavs do need to shake things up. They obviously do need to do some things. So, Coop, let's just kind of explore some theories, some ideas here. I mean, does anything pop into your mind in terms of big things that could happen this offseason? I mean, it's not like they're going to trade Luka, so that's not going to be some, shocking thing that would happen here.
Yeah, they're not going to trade Luka, but what's something outside of the box that we haven't talked about yet? We've talked about guys like Miles Turner. We've talked about guys like Chris Middleton. Is there someone on the radar that maybe we haven't thought of that they could go get? Are we talking an OG Anunoby type?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, are one of the Clipper boys going to be available? I mean, that obviously has not worked up to this point because Kawhi and Paul George haven't been able to stay healthy.
That's what I was going to say. If Paul George is available, that'd be great, but you're not trading the 10th pick in the NBA draft for Paul George.
Yeah, you got to trade what? 10 every first you have available.
Basically.
Plus Hardy and Josh Green, and it's still maybe not enough.
And Paul George is 33. He's coming off a serious injury, and he's been injured the past 3 years as well. And Kawhi Leonard, God knows what's going on with him. I don't know if he loves basketball, number one. Number two, if he's not 100% healthy, he's not playing. So he has a torn meniscus, which is obviously tough to play on, but it seems like Kawhi at this point is more interested in just collecting the checks.
And look, let's be honest, like, he's gone the load management route, and it hasn't benefited him. I mean, he still has gotten hurt in the playoffs. So, I don't look. If they get Kawhi, I'll be excited, obviously. But I also am like, is that even a move you want to make? I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you could get him, you would do it. But it's just interesting. I mean, it's frustrating at the same time, Coop, because like we've been fed these ideas for years and years and years, over a decade since the title team of like, oh, they're gonna swing at this guy.
It's like gonna be a big offseason.
They're gonna get that guy, and then they end up with Darren Williams 6 years past his prime.
It's been Darren Williams. It was Dwight Howard. It was Chris Paul. It was DeAndre Jordan.
Melo's in Dallas.
It was Hassan Whiteside. It was
Mike Conley.
I mean, every big-name free agent that has been a free agent over the past 10 years, the Mavs have tried to get and struck out on every single one of them. Now, they did bring Darren Williams and DeAndre Jordan in, but well past their primes, obviously.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who would be the example of that? Like, Chris Middleton to me. And look, I would take Middleton, but he is not what he was even just 2 years ago.
I still think Middleton's a good player. The guy that would be this summer, are you ready for this? It'd be Chris Paul.
I don't.
That would be the guy.
I can't do that.
But if they re-sign Kyrie Irving, there's no chance they're going to sign
Chris
Paul.
Are you going to make him a sixth man? I mean, I guess he'd be a good sixth man.
Yeah, but hopefully the Mavs aren't shopping at the bargain bin this summer and they actually make a tangible move to substantially upgrade the roster.
Yeah, not JaVale McGee, please. What is one move the Mavs need to make this off season? I mean, I would love Paul George. I know the injuries, but like if he's your number 3, Coop, like Paul George as a number 3 is
Paul George as a number 3 would be great. And he's admitted as such that he's no longer a number 1 option.
Yeah.
And that he prefers to be someone who plays basically Robin to a Batman. Well, you have the Batman. You may even have the Robin and Luka. So what's the third guy after Robin? I'm not a big Batman
You mean
guy.
the second guy in Kyrie is Robin? Yeah. Kyrie's not Batman.
He's not. Luka's
never
Batman.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah, Paul George as a number 3 option would be great, but we'll see what Mark Cuban and Nico Harrison have up their sleeves.
Yeah, we'll see what shakes there. Get a Real One t-shirt right now if you're a Real One. If you love the Mavs, pick one up today. You got the kind of Mavs green there. You got the traditional blue. Chatsports.com/Real One. Got tons of other colors, black, if you want to get that one as well. Pick one up today, chatsports.com/Real One. That link will be in the comments and in the description of this video. Pick up a Real One Chat Sports shirt today. Oh boy, Dillon Brooks. A move they should not make. Well, Chandler Parsons, who kind of is just becoming a media star in a sense. He's always on Cowherd's show. He bounces around. He says that the Mavs should sign Dillon Brooks even if he's annoying. Here's what Parsons had to say. He said, they're a team that needs toughness and not necessarily another distraction, but I think Dillon will learn from this and realize that was more of a negative than a positive, especially in the media. Dillon Brooks is a role player. He's a good role player. And look, the player himself, although he didn't have a great year this year, he shot the ball poorly and his shot selection has always been questionable. Dillon Brooks peaks as a player, Coop, is an excellent role player. It's a star, he could be a number, I don't want to say 3, but like
he's like a 4.
He's like a good 4. Like
he's a starting caliber player on a playoff team.
Yeah.
The problem is if he does what he does with the Grizzlies this year and just off the court causes all these distractions, you can't have him on a team. And it's why he should be learning Mandarin, because he might be playing for the Shanghai Sharks.
Look, I think there's a real scenario. He's going to have to sign a vet minimum deal with the team and reprove his stock to the NBA because the way it played out last year. And look, I think it's, I don't want to say it's unfair, but I do think it's a little out of bounds if Memphis goes the route of, well, he was just all of the problem. Like, I don't think that actually is the case. But he was a big problem. Like, you can't run your mouth and, well, I don't respect anyone until they drop 40 on me, and then you shoot 20% in a series and LeBron just goes off. Like, that's just bad. You're not handling your business the right way.
So I thought it was interesting. Yesterday, I believe Shaq was on a podcast, and he basically said he thinks Dillon Brooks is going to be out of the league because no one's going to want him due to all these off-the-court stuff and distractions. So Dillon Brooks is going to have some serious work to do this summer to repair his image. If I'm the Mavs and I'm convinced that he can do that and he can stay quiet and be a good teammate and is able to fit in with the Mavs culture, then great. But if I'm not, I don't waste my time on it, and especially don't waste the limited resources that you have.
I think it's got to be vet minimum or nothing. Like, and even then, I would still like I'd have to vet him pretty strongly and sit him down and be like, look, man, like this is how it's going to be. You know, you got to follow these guidelines because he's just not a good enough player to bring this extra crap. I mean, he's just not. There's a reason that you trade for Kyrie with his baggage because he's a 30-point per game all-star. Dillon Brooks has questionable shot selection and
extremely.
And he's not efficient. So
and he's beefing with LeBron James, who might be the greatest basketball player to ever live.
It's just,
what's going on?
It's just a bad look. Should the Mavs sign Dillon Brooks? Type Y for yes and for no. If it's vet minimum, I would at least consider it. But beyond that, I mean, I'm real hesitant here. You know, I don't think Shaq's completely off. I think there's a real chance he's not going to be in the league next year. Y for yes and for no. Let us know what you guys think, and we'll see you soon here at Mavericks Today.